everyone, back today with some information about some of the things that might have been going on behind the scenes regarding DC, Black Adam, Henry Cavill, Dwayne Johnson. Wanted to report on it. I wanted to cover it last night on the channel, but I was having some audio issues, so decided to wait until today. Pretty interesting things in this Variety article. I'm not going to read it verbatim or anything like that, but I want to highlight the main points made, the main things that were mentioned in the article. So first of all, it says that pretty much right after the merger closed between Warner Brothers and Discovery last year in April, Dwayne Johnson directly pitched David Zaslav on a multi-year plan where Black Adam and Superman would have a showdown, and this multi-year plan would kind of include both properties interweaving, Superman versus Black Adam. So, that's, I think we all can agree that sounds accurate and true, because Dwayne Johnson was talking so much about this is definitely going to happen. And once Henry was actually able to come back for the cameo, they're like, yeah, this is definitely going to happen, right? And he was talking as much as he could really about really what it took to bring back Henry Cavill, and how much he's wanted this for so many years, and he can see what the next 3 movies look like, and they want to expand, build out the JSA. He really had this whole future envisioned for where this would go. But the interesting thing this article says is that other sources confirmed the meeting but downplayed any discussion of Black Adam's future. That, to me, I feel like if sources were saying that, I feel like it would be to kind of save face for the studio a little bit. Because if you downplay how much they talked about the future of Black Adam and or Superman, Henry Cavill Superman, it doesn't make the studio look as bad as they do right now. It's like, it makes it seem like, yeah, we had a meeting to talk about Black Adam and what he wanted to do, bringing in Superman, but we didn't talk about having this big old future, this expansive, future with them. I think it saves face for the studio more than anything. I highly doubt that he would be talking this much publicly about where he wants to go in the future with Black Adam, the JSA members, Hawkman, Superman, and be fighting that hard to bring back Superman, Henry Cavill. If he didn't want, of course he wanted a future for Black Adam. It wouldn't make any sense. He didn't want to just do one movie and be done with it. So I think they're trying to save face a little bit, especially the position that they're in right now. Another interesting thing that was brought out, it said that it didn't sit well with that. The fact that Dwayne Johnson went around Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich didn't sit well. That's referring to he went around Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich and went straight to Pamela Abdi and Michael DeLuca to get the okay to bring in Henry Cavill and have the Superman cameo. Of course it's not going to sit. It just says it didn't sit well. Well, of course it's not going to sit well with Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich. Even they were on their way out. They were leaving at this point. We all knew they were going to be gone very soon. And they were still saying no. He went to them over several years, and even down to the last, right before the movie came out. They filmed that cameo in September, and the movie came out in October. So they didn't have, or maybe a little bit before September, but they had until Labor Day to get it done. So they didn't have very much time to get that done before the movie was going to be released. Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich, we knew they were going to be gone. They knew they were going to be gone. They were still saying no. And like Dwayne Johnson had said after the movie came out, they were never going to bring him back. They were never going to say yes. It was always a no. So of course it's not going to sit well with them. In one last act of selfishness, ego trip, bitterness, they still were saying no. What's it going to matter if you're leaving and you're just fine, go ahead and do it? You're going to be gone anyway. And the fact, that they were always going to say no, and that's what Dwayne Johnson said, it's kind of confirmed by this statement here, that Emmerich had made the call back in 2018 to find another actor to play Superman, all the way back in 2018. That's ridiculous. Okay, so first of all, you're going to destroy him. You're going to completely destroy Superman in 2017 Justice League. You're going to say, oh, people don't want the dark, emotional Superman. People, want what we gave them. We're going to just destroy his character in Justice League 2017, and that's what people want. That movie flopped, failed. No one wanted that Superman. So then you're going to recast him after that? Like it's his fault. That's ridiculous. But, I mean, I'm not surprised to see it and to hear it. But, it definitely confirms the notion that they were never going to bring him back. It's like really bittersweet that the other, the interim co-heads, Michael DeLuca, Pamela Abdy, when they were kind of in charge before they permanently put Peter Safran and James Gunn, bittersweet that they approved it because we got to see him and then he got to announce his return and then he got taken away shortly after. So it was like we got to see him one last time suited up, but then got ripped away as soon as they allowed it to happen. So it's just it's just so unfortunate. Like, it really sucks. The article is also bringing out a rumor that I started to see floating around like shortly after we found out Henry Cavill is not going to return as Superman, and that is that he's parted ways with his manager, Danny Garcia. At first, I didn't think I was like, probably not. But it's continuing to be reported by different media outlets. However, it's saying it's unrelated to the DC drama and that she remains a strategic advisor to him. I highly doubt it's completely unrelated to the DC drama. I don't think that, this is just my personal speculation, but I think it would be a very unlikely coincidence that he happened to part ways with her after that whole situation occurred. Makes sense, because if they didn't get anything in writing and then the studio allowed him to make that announcement and then they were like, nope, we're pulling you, you'd probably be upset with your manager. So I'm not saying that would be the only reason that they parted ways, but I highly doubt it was unrelated to it. The rest of the article is kind of just talking about that Dwayne Johnson was kind of demanding with the studio. Like, for instance, he pushed for a producing credit on Super Pets, but didn't promote it as much. And that he wanted a tequila bar at the New York premiere of Black Adam featuring his Terramana brand, even though the film was PG-13. Yeah, PG-13 means like mostly adults are going to be there at the premiere. It's not, okay, Super Pets, that I would understand would be kind of weird to have a tequila bar at the premiere, but it's Black Adam. It's very mature. Should have been rated R. It should have been a rated R movie. Not based on what we got in theaters, but based on, stuff that they had to cut out of the movie. It was rated R, so I don't think that's much of a stretch to want a tequila bar at the premiere. I guess what the article is trying to say is that his demands didn't, the box office for Black Adam didn't rise to what his demand, how demanding he was with the studio, and kind of how influential he wanted to be and the things that he wanted, which I kind of understand. But at the same time, his movies don't make $800-900 million. They don't get into that range. Maybe, okay, Fast and the Furious franchise, they make a lot of money, and he was a part of that. But roles that are not attached to a franchise, that are like, he's just a lead role, he's the lead person, they don't make that kind of money. And yes, Black Adam is attached to the DC franchise, but it's not a character that most people are going to be familiar with. It's a character that DC fans are going to watch, and maybe people that are just fans of Dwayne Johnson and like to support his movies. So I don't want to call him a B-list character, but that's kind of the category that Black Adam falls into, and that's why Dwayne Johnson was so adamant about making his own movie for Black Adam and not only having him in Shazam, but taking a character that might not be quite as familiar with most people or most audiences, introducing the JSA, introducing other characters that might not be as well known or familiar and expanding and building on that. And that's what he wanted to do with the JSA. And yes, he's a huge name. He's the highest paid actor in Hollywood. His movies don't make even close to $1 billion, which is the standard now for a successful movie. Now, I'm sure there were, butting heads, definitely, because that studio was just so, the old regime just wanted to really control everything, except Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. And they had really ruined and tarnished and destroyed the relationship with fans. So it could have done better if maybe they had fans that were eager to support everything they were doing, but they're just so spiteful towards the fans. And now, for a minute it got better, but now it's one step forward and 1,000 steps back. So, it's unfortunate, and it's just, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how people react to whatever we are supposed to find out, this month about this new DC plan that they have. Supposedly they're going to be revealing their first 3 years of their new plan, their reboot, whatever you want to call it. And interestingly, this article says that Wonder Woman is not going to be part of the first 3 years at all. That's pretty surprising to me, just personally. Don't know if that's 100% true. I guess we'll find out pretty soon when they start revealing more of their slate and their plan. But that's pretty interesting. David Zaslav has been talking about Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. That's kind of surprising to me. Another interesting thing is that it says they could be, there's a possibility that they might still continue with Ezra Miller after The Flash, even in their, new universe. I don't know. I feel like it's weird to me if they keep some of the people and then reboot or recast other people. I think that's strange, just in my opinion. I feel like if you're going to do a reboot, you need to reboot everybody. And you could say, it depends on how the Flash movie does. I know that movie they're going to push super hard. It's the first time in almost 20 years that they're going to have a Super Bowl ad. I can see them just marketing the crap out of this movie because I think they're very scared that it's going to fail, which it had a lot of potential to do really well for a minute. But now I think they're going to be scared of how it's going to perform. And unfortunately, I don't think it would be fair if they base all of that just on Ezra Miller, because there's a lot of surrounding factors that are going to contribute to all the movies that they have coming out this year, but especially that one because of the multiverse aspect of it. So I don't know, a lot going on, but just want to stay updated on the channel for sure. So thank you guys for watching. Check out any videos and shorts you might have missed recently. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.